What's up? Hey, hello everyone. Wow, so today we are back going to be talking about Survivor season 49. Back this week talking about the second episode. So, my name is Rachel.
I'm Alyssa, and I have a voice this week. Let's all be happy about that. So, second episode, I feel like, I don't know, was a little bit of a hot girl bummer, at least to me. So, I'm curious to hear your thoughts, Rachel, and also hear from everyone else what they think.
Yeah, no more ASMR whispering this week. Unless you all really like that, then we could do a whole ASMR video sometime. But yeah, this week I thought it was an okay episode. Honestly, since I watched the episode twice, like first time is for fun, okay, enjoying myself. Second time, I take notes on the episode. I found myself not really wanting to watch the episode again. I feel like I got what I needed the first time.
Yeah, I feel like the thing for me is that it basically was what we said would be like the most boring thing to happen, which is Annie getting voted out, is what happened. So, yeah.
Literally, they weren't even trying to hide the ball on this one. Usually in the preview for next week, they won't make it so obvious, but last week it was like, okay, Annie's a Karen in the preview. This week, Annie gets voted out because she's annoying people on the tribe. So it wasn't even like, okay, Annie's being annoying, but people had other plans and someone else got voted out. It was just a very straightforward episode.
Yeah, it was a pretty straightforward episode. I feel like they couldn't even really do a red herring because it was pretty obvious who was gonna be going home. So,
And I feel like we talk about this every single season, but like this team, this season, the Blue Tribe is the sucky tribe this season. It seems like casting producers, they are stacking one team with all the hodgepodge people that can't win challenges. And then because of that, it starts this cycle. You can't win a challenge. You can't get your flint. You can't make food. Then you're hungry. Then you can't win any more challenges because everyone else has food and fishing gear now. So everyone else is going to continue to win. And Blue Team is the suck team this season. Seems like they're going to continue to lose. And I feel like we talk about this every single season, but like it's not fun to watch one team continuously lose like this just because they can't make fire and then they can't eat, then they keep losing.
I also feel like I can't believe that production is intentionally like stacking one team and leaving another team like totally lame and the worst. But also when it's happened so many times, I gotta wonder how they're like doing the tribe assignments in such a way that one team always ends up messed up.
And maybe they thought because of Jake, this team wouldn't be the sucky team because they thought Jake could carry them like Jonathan. But yeah, it just sucks because it seems like, okay, Blue is going to continuously go to tribal council. The sucky team last season was Green with Say and all of that drama. So it's like one team always just sort of like sucks and then they get depleted and then like two or three people go to a tribe swap or merge and then they end up making it further because they've got no one on their team anymore, but it just does suck. So, like next week, we'll probably get a losing Jeremiah.
Yeah, I feel like it just sucks all around. So what can you do, I guess, other than not start with three separate tribes?
Yeah, and it's also interesting. Jeff has said that the pre-merge this season is boring, but then the game really picks up post-merge. So it does seem like, okay, is Blue going to continuously lose, like Pagong their entire team, and then, okay, they're just gonna get down to 2 people, 3 people. Like, they didn't even try to hide that Annie was going home in the preview, so it seems like Jeremiah is going home next time, or the secret medevac.
Yeah, but I feel like the secret medevac might also be one of the people from Blue. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how much I trust Jeff because I feel like in general, when Jeff says the season is bad, I actually enjoy it. And when Jeff says the season is good, I like it. Or I don't like it. So, Jeff and I seem to have opposite tastes.
So, yeah, maybe Blue isn't going to travel next week, but We'll put the screen. I thought the last week that putting everyone's names up there was helpful, so we'll do it this week again just because we're all learning everyone's names and their tribe divisions. But we start off this episode with Jeremiah eating worms, and I thought this was sort of gross.
Yeah, I also thought it was kind of gross. I get it because it's meant to show like how down on their luck the blue tribe is, but like gross. Gross. I didn't like it.
Speaking of killing things, we see Red. They find a crab and they kill the crab and cook it. But before
I
they
would
do
rather
that, they're
have a crab
praying.
than a worm.
I agree. The crab actually looks semi-decent. The worms are just a little bit small and gross, but Red Team, they prayed over the crab before they killed it.
Yeah, I thought that was a little weird. I also thought it was funny how she was like, "Is it okay if I say a prayer?" And like, no one's gonna say no.
You just need someone on the tribe that's like, "Oh, I don't want you to actually kill this thing at all." So, like, the people that don't want to kill the chickens, which maybe they're like, "Okay, a crab is different compared to a chicken in terms of, like, animal hierarchies," but it would have been interesting if they're like, "Okay, we're going to kill it." Someone's like, "Okay, before we kill it, can we pray?" And then someone else is like, "Actually, no, we can't kill it at all."
Yeah, yeah. Just slowly inching down towards not actually eating the thing.
It's a new pet. They can name it.
I had a hermit crab as a pet and was not that big, but I did.
Yeah, what was its name?
I have no clue. Sorry to that hermit crab.
R.I.P. So, though, in this scene, he seemed pretty cool, very good narrator, which makes sense given his like background in film production and movies. We see him learning the young kid lingo, like aura, fire, vibes, riz, and then people kept on saying like, "Oh, that's so cinema, that's cinema," and I was like, "I've never heard of that cinema yet."
Oh, well, you're behind the times. I thought it was really funny the way the editing showed everyone saying like fire, fire, fire. Like it genuinely sounded like that was the only word they knew.
What's that cinema mean?
Like it's epic or like it's something you would watch in a movie theater. Like it's cinema.
Like that's so cool.
No. No. You know what? We'll talk about this later, Rachel. I'll explain later.
Okay. That's crazy. I've not heard of that. Have you heard of Huzz before?
Have I heard of what?
Huzz, Huzz?
Is that like husband?
Yeah, I think so. People are using using that as slang too, but it
Oh,
doesn't mean
lordy.
husband.
Oh, lordy.
So the red team seems like they've got a core four going on. We saw a little bit of it last week with Savannah, Shannon, Nate, and Rizzo. What we saw last time formalized this time, and they came together as a foursome. So Jawan officially kicked out of the group here. Um, but everyone else thinks maybe he's found an idol because they always see him walking off alone.
Yeah, I feel like he definitely was not paying much attention to his threat level, and it might not really matter because blue team sucks so bad, but I do think it's kind of interesting how he managed to go from being in like part of the power group to now being left out.
Yeah, and partially maybe because now Savannah dislikes him even more because Jawan accidentally used Savannah's bag for collecting sticks and random stuff, and Savannah hates bugs. This was a bad scene for Jawan, I would say. Very awkward when he realized that he didn't use his own bag for stick collecting. I feel like he should have went up to Savannah and apologized rather than with the editing. It seemed like Savannah gets told that he uses the bag, and then she, like, talks to him, confronts him about it, then Joanna's just like, "Oh, yeah, sorry," like, "Oops." I feel like he should have went up to her to try to mitigate the situation.
Yeah, because it also sounds really sus when he's like, "Oh, I didn't know it was her bag," but won't say that directly to her face. It seems like a lie.
Yeah, I think once he realized it wasn't his own bag and he used someone's bag that dislikes bugs and would maybe have a problem with this, then I feel like he should have went up to her rather than waiting for her to come up to him.
Or even just like offer to switch bags, be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I know you don't like bugs. If you just want to like put your stuff in my bag, you can."
Yeah, a clean bag, unless he also used his bag for stick collecting and now all the bags are dirty.
Also possible, but I don't know.
Yeah, so Savannah gets like a news clip kind of confessional when she uses her reporter voice. So, like we said, the knockoff, like Jonathan last week, we've got a Rick Devens.
Yeah. We have a knockoff of everyone basically.
Yeah, and I thought just like Savannah's people, like presenter speaker voice is like so noticeable compared to when she's talking normally or like talking in a confessional. I thought it's just very interesting how people have such presenter voices that sound so different than their real life voice.
Yeah, but I also feel like you notice it a lot. Like I have friends who are teachers and their teacher voice is different from their regular voice. And like I have friends who are therapists and their therapist voice is different from their regular voice. So like it happens a lot like in like real life too.
Yeah, her speaker presenter voice was really good. I was like, oh, I want to listen to her on TV. It sounded very professional and a good intonation in her presenter voice.
For sure. I would love to listen to her just talk.
Yeah, podcasting in the future.
She could become a
So,
Survivor podcaster.
yeah. Sage on Red Team only gets weird edit clips like peeing, pooping, peeing this episode more, and then being an Easter Bunny mascot. Like, she's got no strategy talk and only weird edit
I think
talk.
that's so interesting because the like next time on Survivor, it seemed to be making Sage into a villain, and I'm like, how do you turn her from being like, oh, talking about being the Easter Bunny to a villain in someone else's edit? I'm really curious to see how that's gonna work.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, she's the humor of the tribe. She's so funny. She says what's on her mind. She says funny stories. Maybe she like pees or poops on someone or like in their stuff. And then it pisses people off because she talks a lot about peeing and pooing a lot.
I feel like she wouldn't be so oblivious as to pee on someone's stuff, but like go off.
So on the yellow team, we see some more tribe dynamics forming. They have a three-person alliance between Steven, Matt, and Christina, and then they want to bring in MC as a fourth for this alliance, where we see Matt then approaching MC, and then he says, oh, we have a three, but we want you to be the fourth person here. This was very, very bad. I feel like whenever you have that fourth person, you always want to try to make that person feel like they're part of the idea too, and not just be like, yeah, you're the fourth. We've solidified this three. Because, like MC says, when did they create this three? Am I just the last person here? You want to try to be like, MC, what do you think of these other two? Let's make a four. Make it their idea rather than, yeah, girl, you're the fourth in our threesome.
On the other hand, though, if you're MC, like if you know, like, oh, this is a solid three, you want to jump in on that if they give you the opportunity, because otherwise it's like, oh, they'll just find a different fourth and you will be one of the two on the bottom. So I feel like she could have done it a little bit better, where instead of immediately running to Sophie and being like, OMG, Sophie, you'll never believe this, like, she could have like kept that in her back pocket for like if they actually lose, which they might not. So
Yeah, yellow is winning even when they get cursed. So yellow might not even lose unless they try to throw a challenge or something like that. I feel like because we see MC saying she's sketch of Matt and then MC directly telling Sophie that Sophie's getting targeted and her name's being thrown out there, low key, I could see MC creating a new foursome and then trying to bring in like Sophie, Jason, the two people that were left out of Matt's foursome, herself, and then like Christina in there. And then Steven or Matt could be the first person voted off this tribe. I feel like the MC foursome with Steven, Matt, Christina is not a real thing.
yeah, I feel like that wouldn't jive, but I also don't know because I cannot see them trying to throw a challenge. So it might not even be they get to test their foursome, and maybe it ends up being that if they do, a swapper emerge, they find a different group to chill with.
I agree. Usually we see the tribes that like only went to tribal council once or went to tribal council 0 times. In the fake mergatory, they're the first people to throw one another under the bus because they've got all that built up frustrations with each other and they haven't been able to go to tribal council yet. So I could see it if they don't go to tribal that like Matt, Steven are the mergatory boot, or if there's a tribe swap boot.
I think it also depends how good they are at the social game when they get to Mergatory or when they
Mhm.
get beyond their little, like, group. So,
Yeah, so speaking of social game, we see Annie annoying people. She's telling them about the coconut water. People are calling her a Karen. She's getting the like annoying, bossy person edit, which is just not good. Not a good edit to get, especially episode 2.
yeah, and especially with the fact she already was on the bottom and then she got bossy and annoying. And then she also said something about, like, "I can't wait to go to tribal," or something, like, "as long as it's not me." I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be her."
Yeah, you never want that. Getting dunked on in the edit, you're like, okay, you're going home this week, which is not good. We also see Jake, Shoe Bandit. He goes and hides Annie's shoe this time. I thought it was funny because he picked up the wrong shoe at first. Seems like he picked up Sophie's shoe. And then Sophie's like, oh, that's my shoe. Is it dry yet? And then he's like, oh, it's the wrong person's shoe.
He's just not very good at being a shoe bandit.
In Annie's exit interview, she was saying that the tribe thought an animal, like a small animal or something, was moving the shoes. So I thought that was good because for me watching, I was like, how are these people not suspecting Jake? It's like, okay, if Alex knows he's not the one doing it and someone got voted out last time and it's still happening, like there's two options left.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things where the shoes never disappear entirely, so you don't know that it's human, I guess. But also, like, do you really think a small animal is gonna just be messing with your shoes?
Yeah, your clothes got to start disappearing or socks. So I thought that seemed good. People don't suspect Jake, and maybe if they did, maybe they don't care because Jake has a strong alliance here. It's also good if he is moving other people's shoes too, that it like takes the heat off of him. Because if Jake was just targeting people he disliked, like he only took Nicole's shoe, then he only took Annie's shoe, I feel like that would look bad. It's like, oh, if my shoe disappears, I'm the next person on the chopping block. But it seems like maybe he's targeting and making everyone's shoes disappear. So at least that's good.
Yeah, but also, like, this whole thing just doesn't seem very well thought out because, like, what are you actually doing by stealing people's shoes? Just, like, confusing them? Like,
Yeah. And like annoying them, maybe.
just what's the point?
It'll be interesting since we saw it episode 1, we see it episode 2. Will we see it next week? I could definitely see maybe it gets picked up again come Mergatory or Tribe Swap when he's got new people to take the shoes of. But yeah, it's like Survivor's been in Fiji for a long time, and you've never seen any small animal moving people's stuff. Now all of a sudden there's a small animal moving people's stuff.
And moving people's stuff multiple times in your camp?
So, uh, we'll see if it's on the air next week, but yeah, seems like Jake has not been caught yet, so that's good for him.
Yet is doing some heavy lifting there.
So we get to go on another journey this week. Joanne, Jake, and Matt are the three people that get to go on the trip. You basically have to throw coconuts into the baskets of the other players, and then you get them out, and then the last player standing earns a secret power. I thought this could be a very spicy challenge because you basically have to like target people and you maybe team up with people to then target them and throw coconuts in there into their basket. But it seemed like that didn't really happen too much, like, no one was butthurt that people were throwing coconuts in their basket. I feel like it could have caused a lot of problems if you got someone, like, really aggro in there.
It looked like because of the way the game was set up, like, you couldn't really team up with another person because you each had to be, like, shooting from one horseshoe, and there were only 3 horseshoes. So, like, I didn't quite understand that part of the game, like, did they have to go to the horseshoe that matched their color or match the color of the person they were shooting into? But either way, it looked like they were pretty evenly distributing things, which makes sense because, like, if you're like dunking on one person, they're going to dunk back on you, and then the third person is just going to be free to do whatever.
Yeah, makes sense. No one would want to create any frictions in their relationships. But yeah, maybe in the future people would be like, okay, Jake is really buff. Let's team up and try to make his basket the heaviest so he gets out of the challenge. But yeah, sort of early to create enemies. But I think it could have been a very spicy challenge if people did want to piss people off.
Yeah, it looked like none of them were really interested in pissing people off, though, which lame.
Exactly. Except Jake in confessional when he says Matt's 70 years old. It's like the opposite of Sue. Matt's only 50 years old, so maybe Matt will dislike Jake after that comment. 70?
Yeah, but Matt didn't hear that comment,
No,
so
yeah. Like after the show, you're like, dang, I don't look 70.
yeah,
He should have said it on the challenge. So then we could have some drama.
a little bit of shit talking.
Yeah, but Jawan wins, and then he gets the choice to help yourself or help your tribe. So, helping yourself, you get to take one of the other two losers' vote, or helping your tribe, you get to disadvantage one tribe at the next immunity challenge. I feel like here the choice is so obvious. There's not even a choice. Like, you have to do the tribe disadvantage because everyone is going to talk. Everyone is going to know that Jawan has something if he doesn't come back with something so public compared to, oh, let's do the tribe thing. You help out your tribe. You maybe help out the other team that you don't disadvantage. Like, oh, let's create some goodwill between our two tribes. And you look good between, like, within your tribe. And then everyone knows you don't have potentially a second secret advantage because you took the public advantage.
Especially because the public advantage like resolves so quickly. Like there's no time to be like, oh, was he telling the truth? Because it's literally the very next immunity challenge.
Exactly, especially if Jawan came back and it's like, "Yeah, I won and I won something, like I get to steal a vote or whatever." Like everyone would basically know you have something because it's not so public compared to a tribe disadvantage. It's so public and he's probably not winning like a vote and a tribe disadvantage. Like you probably think, "Oh, that's the thing he won. It's over now." He doesn't have a secret second thing.
Yeah, unless you're really paranoid.
Yeah, Jawan's got the idol.
Yeah, of course.
So, with the immunity challenge, they have to go through obstacles and do a puzzle at the end. The disadvantage he wins is that the tribe he picks, every single person there has to run with 20 pounds of coconuts on their back, and then they get 10 keys for the rope gate instead of just one key for the rope gate. Red team, they give it to yellow because I would think blue sucks. So you don't really have to worry about blue as much already. If you disadvantage them, you're basically securing yourself immunity, which, hey, maybe that could be helpful. Or you're like, ah, yellow is so freaking strong. We need to make them weaker. So let's disadvantage them. But yellow is so OP, they still win.
Yeah, I do think part of that is like the we always say the puzzle is a great equalizer, and since all of the like extra difficulty was for the physical parts, it's like okay, once they got to the puzzle, they still like swept. If they had found a way to make the puzzle more difficult, maybe then the puzzle would have knocked yellow down. Or maybe not, because blue truly sucks at puzzles.
Apparently, yeah, Blue had like a 7-minute head start on that puzzle, and then they lost their lead entirely. So maybe that is the case. But yeah, I think it makes sense to give the disadvantage to Yellow. You try to knock down the other six-person full tribe. Blue is already losing so much. Maybe you get some goodwill with them because you help them out a little. But at the end of the day, the disadvantage, Yellow just powered through that.
Yeah, yellow shredded. So,
I was nervous though, seeing all those coconuts flop around those people's necks when they're moving through all of the obstacles. I was like, oh my God, if you had 20 pounds flop on you like that, oh, my neck would be out.
Yeah. Luckily, no one got hurt this time.
Yeah, so Blue was in first for a lot of it. They were making really, really good time. Red was actually in last, like going into the puzzle. I thought, like, oh, that would be sort of embarrassing if you lost and you disadvantaged someone else. Like, that's sort of really sucky.
Yeah, but I also feel like red did the right thing by trying to disadvantage yellow instead of disadvantaging blue.
I agree. MC, she's the new Jonathan. She is such a beast, literally running up that big wall and then helping everyone else. I was like, wow, she is so great.
Yeah, yeah, she's amazing.
So, Blue, they had a huge lead at the puzzle. Alex and Sophie were on the puzzle and they seemed to really mess that up. Maybe it's lack of sleep, maybe it's not them being good at puzzles. Jason and Sophie were on yellow for the puzzle and they were beast at that too. They really crushed that. They like literally going from last place, second to last to first and winning so much. I was like, wow, they are amazing.
I do wonder how much of it is just like the compounding effect, though, of like we talked about. If you're in last place and don't have flint to start a fire, then you're not eating as much, you're probably not drinking as much. And so then it's kind of like, are you just spiraling because you're not getting any food or sustenance, which is going to make you then worse at the next immunity and make you have to go to tribal again, so you get even worse? Like, what's the strat there?
True. Like we said at the start of this podcast episode, like Blue is on a circular loop right now, seemingly continually going to lose. And we did see it a lot this episode of like people not being able to think, people not being able to talk, people having to ask Jeff what the question was multiple times. It's like, okay, that's not really that good of TV if people can't even like speak for the television show.
Yeah. But also, like, I'm sure people have been like sleep deprived and food deprived on Survivor before. Why is it hitting this tribe so much worse than like there are people who like on day 30 were still able to string together a coherent sentence. So why is it on like day 6 these people are struggling?
True. So yellow, they get first. Red gets second. Blue, last place again. They are getting stuck at tribal council. But before we make it there, we see Alex. He finds a beware advantage, but in order to get any clues for it, you have to lose an immunity challenge to get the next clue. So good thing Blue lost. So then now Alex gets the next clue. Alex and Jake, they bring in Sophie to help them. We saw in the premiere episode last week that Alex was bad at the treasure map. So it's good that he was able to figure out the treasure map this week.
Yeah, yeah. I did think it was really interesting how like Sophie like almost tried to steal the idol from Alex by taking the like ball and chain and being like, "Oh, I'm just going to bring it over here for no reason whatsoever." Like that could have gotten so much messier.
Yeah, I was like, can she actually steal it out from under him? I would think technically, yes, maybe if she opened it today, like the day that this was all happening. But in confessional, she's like, yeah, I wanted to come back later to get it. But it seemed like the idol expired if it wasn't open today, like before tribal council. So I was wondering, like, could she actually steal it?
I don't know. I feel like most people wouldn't try. So,
Yeah, I thought it'd be spicy fun if she did like steal the box and then take the ball and chain to go steal the idol out from under him. I thought that would be funny. Sort of
yeah.
sad she couldn't do it.
Yeah, it would have been difficult though since like everyone knew what was happening.
Literally, because they also bring in Jeremiah too. Alex then finds the box, opens it, he gets the idol. We see Alex and Jeremiah talking because they're a little bit nervous. Jake and Sophie are very close. That would be a twosome. If they vote out Annie here, then Alex and Jeremiah are like, okay, me and you need to stick together so we're not like the odd person out of this group. Alex also tells Annie about the idol, so literally everyone on Blue knows.
And Alex pretends that not everyone on Blue does know at Tribal, which was like, ooh, spicy, Alex, because he says something like, wow, I hope no one found the idol. Like, we all know you've been lying.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you want people to feel like they're in with you, but actually everyone is technically in with you because they all know the secret. But saying what he said at Tribal makes it seem like some people are on the outs and like, oh, I'm in on the secret. He likes me more than all these other people, but he likes everyone. Alex, good politician.
Yeah, makes sense why he works on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, so I think that would be very interesting if Blue continues to lose. Like, I want to see who does Jake pick out of the Alex, Jake, Sophie threesome, because it does seem like okay, next week Jeremiah probably goes, and Alex has the idol, so Alex hopefully would use it and not get voted out. So like, okay, who does Jake like more out of Alex and Sophie? I sort of want to see who his true number one is.
Especially because that was such an aspect of this episode, like, oh, them being jealous of each other.
Which makes sense though, technically, because it's like, okay, if Jake and Sophie are so close, then Alex is the third wheel. And then from Sophie's point of view, she sees the bromance of Alex and Jake as so close, then Sophie's the third wheel. Maybe Jeremiah doesn't get voted out next time because everyone realizes, hey, we need Jeremiah as like a swing vote to try to like make a move on the other twosome here to try to vote one of Jake's buddies out so then I can be Jake's best friend here, Jake's best buddy. So, yeah, maybe they try to do something like that.
Yeah, but then neither of Jake's best buddies went home this episode, so rip them.
So, Annie, we do see she wanted to vote Jake out pre-immunity challenge. Post, then she's like, okay, we need to vote Sophie out for tribe strength. Sophie messed up on the puzzle. Then, like, she was telling people that, and then it cuts to them saying, oh, is Jeremiah in on this plan? Annie says yes. Then it cuts to Jeremiah laughing and saying, ha ha ha, I'm voting for Sophie. Then does this great villain laugh. I was like, wow, that is a good villain laugh.
I always love it when they're like aware of the fact that they're on TV and making a TV show. Like moments like that are so for television.
Yeah, so Annie gets voted out this episode. It seemed like, I guess, semi-obvious from the start of the episode. I was maybe interested, like we said last week, that okay, people realize that Sophie is more dangerous than Annie. Let's keep Annie along. Maybe Alex would want to stick with Annie to try to vote Sophie, to break Sophie and Jake up. But I think it does make sense for Alex here not to rock the vote. Like, if he did vote Sophie out, then he is basically hitching all of his votes on with Annie. Like, you have to be such a strong twosome at that point because now you pissed Jake off. Um, so I feel like it does make sense to just stick with everyone and vote Annie out here.
Yeah, especially if it was inevitable.
Yeah, especially because next week, like, if you kept Annie around, it would still be 2-2, like Annie and Alex versus Jake and Jeremiah, because Jake is maybe mad at you because you voted Sophie out. Um, but then maybe Jeremiah is also really mad because you voted Sophie out and they seem close. Like, flipping here would probably make Alex look very, very untrustworthy compared to even if Alex and Annie had a secret duo that like, it's not worth it, I feel like, to lose 3 people to keep 1.
Yeah. So I will be curious. Like we said, it seems like maybe Jeremiah is going home next week and what gets shaken up as a result of that.
Yeah, and in the next time preview for Survivor, it seems like Jake is getting bit by a snake, which people on Reddit like are saying this snake might be super venomous and Jake might get medevac next time. Hopefully that is not the case because being medevaced and being bit by a super venomous snake would be a bad way to get eliminated from the show. But I would also hope that the editors aren't being so obvious about who is going home next week by sticking it in the preview.
Yeah, but they also kind of did that this week. So
Yeah, so hopefully we'll see. We just don't pick Jake if you're doing any drafts for picking players next week because maybe it is a very venomous snake and he has to leave. But hopefully they are not being that obvious and it is a red herring.
yeah, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
So, yeah, let us know in the comments down below your thoughts on this episode. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Any fun parts of this episode that you liked? Definitely let us know in the comments. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you all